Hi, good morning, everyone. We'll just start in a minute here. Okay, so we can get started. How's everyone doing today? So the first thing that I'll be doing on this board is creating grid lines. I wanted to show this in person, and just in case if anybody had any questions, I'm going to be using WOW Art rulers. I think I linked these in the post as well. I'm good, thank you. So I've already marked my center using the same technique in the video that I shared in the post as well. And what I usually do is I take one of these push pins, and I think it comes with it as well. And we're just going to put it through the center and then push it on top of your center. So you secure this just so this doesn't move. And then so the first thing we do, hey, you're saying thoughtful dots. Sorry, I didn't catch that. How are you? So I'm just going to create these markings. And then move them a little bit. To complete the circle, starting from the first one here. And then move again. So we're just trying to finish up the whole circle. It make all the lines meet. Looks like this one. Okay, this is all good. And then what I do is oh, okay. Where are you from? Well, So I'll just stretch a first line. It doesn't matter where you do it, so just do first line here. And then these ones as well. And then I'm going to move to this one is then going to be my starting point again. So I'm going to align my stencil, as you can see. So it was like this, and I'm going to move the first part of the stencil to the last line that I made. So nicely align this in the center. And then again, and then you just keep repeating the same thing. So now this becomes my starting point. I believe it also comes with an instruction video when you buy this stencil from, I bought it from Wow Art, so it came with instructions. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's sunny here today as well. I'm in Calgary, Alberta, in Canada. It was snowing the last 2 days, and today it's very sunny. So I'm just repeating the same thing. Okay, get this quickly. So I found this stencil has helped me achieve a greater symmetry when it comes to designs as compared to the other stencils, which you have to kind of modify on your own when you're at a larger space at the bottom. Sometimes you'd have to create more lines. So this one gives you that ending as well. One tip when I was using the charcoal pencil, they usually, even if you sharpen them, they run out really fast. The tip smudges off really fast. So when I'm creating a line, I just twist the pencil as I go downwards. So it kind of takes charcoal from the whole tip instead of keep going over and over on one side. So just like this. And just keep your stencil marks as light as possible. It just helps in removing them at the end when you're done. Just like that. And then I'm going to start from the first dot that I have here. And then I'm going to miss the other one and go to the third one and the fifth one. So I'm just putting dots here. You can either use the stencil and then circle the stencil around. For this one, I'm just going to mark the dots first. I'm going to take this off. Just use my pencil and the compass and follow these dots to create circles. So are you using a regular stencil? Let me show you something. So are you using this kind of stencil? We've used that 16 segment stencil in our other classes. I think it was just after our last class when we decided to move to this one. But if you go to our other classes, we have improvised the 16-inch and then added new lines in between each segment. I can mention that post, and that has a technique where you could make more lines, as many as you like on the piece. Okay, so we're done here with our guide marks. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is placing a gold dot in the center. So I'm just going to take my largest stick here, the one that you have in your set. Like every time, I'm just going to pour some paint on top of my stick. Just enough to cover it. Just going to move this around. And then drop it here. Yeah, that's the one we've been using. You're right. So yeah, we have done improvisation on those ones. It's just you'll need to do more of like using this compass. You would be basically finding, so for example, if this is your first line and this is your second, and you want this one in the center, you'd be finding a center of these two, mark that, and then stretch a line from the center. So that I can't show you here because it's already all done, but I can mention that video where we did that, and then you can basically skip to that part and find how we did it. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's place that dot in the center here, and I'm just going to swirl this around. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that paint just so it doesn't overflow when I swirl it around. So I'm just using my Q-tip, and when you use a Q-tip, always do this motion instead of this. And then just using one of my styluses, I like to do this. This is, again, optional. You don't have to. You can always just leave it like that. It just brings out the texture of the paint a lot better. Okay. Okay, and then moving on, I'm going in with the purple stick that I have, the tinier side. And going in with my first color. So this is our color palette that I created. And I'm going to call my colors as color number 1 to 6, starting from the orange part. So this is going to be number 1. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to dip into my paint and place a dot close to the center dot. And the next dot, try to place it as close as you can. and a similar size. So when you take your paint and then you put it on the canvas, if you just, let me show you. So if I just did this dot's just naturally going to be very smaller. What we do to improvise and make it bigger is a tapping motion or circling it a little bit just so you can make the size of the dot a little bigger. So we're just transferring a lot more paint on than what you would do just by dropping it once like this, which is again smaller. So try to stay as close to your previous dot as possible and the same size. And to avoid making a bigger size dot, especially for the first circle of dots, what I do is I wipe my stylus after every dot that I put, just so I go in with a clean stylus. And I can control how much paint I have on my stylus as well. So just looking at my previous dots, making sure all of them are similar size and equally spaced. And wiping my stylus in between each dot. It's just the first circle of dots that's a little bit nerve-wracking, and sometimes you'd have to take a dot off and maybe make another dot a little bigger just to make sure that it all fits nice and perfect, because that's going to create basically the base for the rest of the mandala. I don't know if I should close this. That much is good. So how I'm dipping the tip in the paint is just a little bit, as you can see, just the top part of it. Moving into the next dots or maybe the next designs we do, we'd probably be dipping it a lot more and picking a lot of paint, depending on how much do we need. But for this one, just need a tiny dot, and I can build it myself to a bigger size if I need to by moving the paint around a little. So now when you're this close to closing the circle, this is when you have to kind of stop and visualize how much space you have left. If you just kept going, you could end up just really close to the last dot and have no space left to decide what you want to do. So this is where I would stop, or maybe one dot after I'll stop and see how many dots can I fit here in this space based on my stylus. Again, at this point, you can take one dot off, or sometimes you're just lucky and it just fits perfectly. So what I do is I try to see, so one dot's going to go here, and then 2, and 3. So yeah, it's saying, or whatever I'm calculating here, feels like I can have 5 dots. So let's try to do that. So yeah, this is where I stopped and realized maybe I only needed 4, and that way I can control the size of my dot right here and maybe space them a little bit closer, a little bit more, depending on how much space you have. So 1, 2, 4. So yeah, according to the calculation I did there, I was able to fit 5 dots here. You would also notice that the dots here are a little bit smaller. Not smaller, they're tightly packed only because I wanted to fit those 5 dots in. If I went with 4 dots, that would have been extra spaced, and that would kind of throw this circle off a little bit. Now I can go ahead and adjust the height of the dots just to match how high they are. And that's it for our first circle. Any questions on this part? Okay, I guess I'll move to my next color, which is color number 2. And using the same stylus and still the same side of it, this time I'm going in and picking up a little more paint. And as you can see, I've dipped in more than my first time, because this time I want to create a dot in between the first 2. So these are the first 2 dots on the top, and I am placing another dot right here. In between your first 2 on the top. Oh, I hope I'm not covering. Quickly turn the lights on. At this time I get a lot of sunlight in, and that messes with the camera. So the first 2 on the top are these 2, just staying in the center here. And to show you the concept here is, this is my first dot on the top. And then this is my second dot on the top. And I'm trying to stay, the dot that I put now, I'm trying to stay here. So the dot, for sure, it'll be bigger. As you move downwards, the dots will just get bigger and bigger. The concept here is to stay to the halves of the first two dots. By that, what I mean is this is the half of my first dot up there, and this is the half of my second dot. So this is my first dot, second dot, and then the half of this dot and half of this dot. So your second dot down here should not go more than half of your first two on the top. I hope I'm clear. It's not confusing, but yeah, that's what I'm following here. But then again, when you start doing this, it kind of have to improvise a little bit, but that's like the basic basic method that you have to follow. But sometimes when you're at a spot where you spaced your first dot a little bit more and the second one a little lesser, you kind of have to improvise and make your dot bigger or smaller. So here also, if I had just dropped the paint, it's smaller. And I'm just going to go in and circle it around a little bit to build it to the same size. And what I'll also look for when building dots is these two are my first two. And when I go put a dot in the center here, I'm looking at this dot just so I don't go over the half of this dot. So I'm always watching this dot. And I always want to stay to the half of this when I'm building the next dot. That helps me visualize it nicely. Okay. It's just the first couple of them that takes some time, and then once you get the hang of it, it just becomes easier. Any questions you can type. Okay. So once this dot in the middle dries, we're planning to do a green dot on top of it, but that's for later. And then moving to my next color, which is the number 3, the saffron yellow. Using the same stylus, same side still, same concept. So this dot's going to be a little more bigger than the second circle of dots. I will also post a video just for the center part. I've created it for a different mandala and different color palette. I'll post that for everyone to watch. It covers different styles of centers. Sometimes some of the centers are really packed, and sometimes some of the centers are a little bit loosely done. So I've done it, I think, in 3 different styles. Some of them are spaced a lot. I don't know if I can show you if I have it here. So like this one here is as tight as it gets as it goes outwards. And then I have a video of how to do that, and then how to do a little relaxed version of it where it's not really taking that much time. I've seen my videos go longer only because I explain so much over and over. I hope that's not too much. I just try to remove any kind of guesswork and try to give you a methodology behind how I plan anything. And I'm always using my pinky finger to support me when I'm doing detail work. So I'm putting pressure on my pinky finger to to control my hand movement. Otherwise it could go out of control. Here we are. And then quickly moving to my color number 4. Same stylus, picking more paint. Let me see if I can change the stylus to the other side of it. Now, where's the camera? Right here. So I was using this one earlier. Let's see if that one would work. So if you now have a thicker stylus, just pick the paint carefully, because it will bring more paint. And it's kind of working. So again, the same concept. And now you have to always make sure, because this dot, the first dot, has this much space left from touching the line, this line here. So all of your dots should remain to the same height. So just watch out when you are making a dot. Thank you. And it's okay to adjust the size of your dots as you go. You might feel that you have a little more space for this dot than the next one is a little bit smaller. But eventually, when they're all nicely packed and you're done with your center, it's very hard to notice that some of your dots are larger and some of your bigger. Of course, they don't vary in size that much, but just by a little is fine. Just to show you the top view, that's how it's looking like. I mean, for the far, you can really not tell what I did there in the center. Only if you bring it up close to look at it, you'll know the tiny details. But from far, it's like this. And moving to color number 5, using a thicker side still. Same concept. This time, dot's going to be a little bigger. And also, eventually, as you go down, you'll also notice that the space in between each dot is kind of increasing by a bit, which is also fine. It's fine to see that. And also, I believe at this point you could use sticks of this size, which are smaller. But just personal preference, I keep like to using the stylus stick because I can kind of use it like a pencil and gives me more control over how big my dot can be as compared to these sticks where you really don't have control. You just like boop it and then that's all you've got. It could be a bigger and you end up then fixing it. So here, if I have to make a bigger dot, I'll just put more paint here, dab it, circle it around. Just be very slow. And again, like I mentioned, I'm watching this dot now when I place this dot, just so I don't exceed the center of this dot. Very close to the end here. So when I do my last dot of any circles, even up there, for the last dot, I don't go back into the paint. I just use the same stylus to first build it and see if I can just do it with the paint I have on it. Because if I go back in and grab more paint and I don't have enough space, I could end up doing a bigger dot. And that is it. Okay, and I believe we can stop here for the circles. So we will only do 5 circles. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next thing we're going to be doing, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just to give it a count, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 36. So I have 36 of these segments. I'd like to call them segments. And I'm going to divide them in 6 segments each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's where I want to create my first design within this. I mean, I'm not sure about the height, but just so you know so what we want to do here is I'm going to grab, so the center for this 6 segment design. Oh, let me just do the camera here quickly, just so it's in front of me. So the center for this, for me, is between 3 and 4. And I'm going to keep it how high? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. I'm going to take my color number 6 and I am going to be covering all the way up till here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. And I hope this is clear. This is 6 different segments and this is 4 high for me. If you're using 36 segments, which you should. So 36 segments, color number 6, purple stylus and the thicker side. And I'm going in and creating a swoosh that'll go downwards. And then you can just kind of fix it using the white stylus is the one for detail in my set. So this is what I did. And now I'm just gonna quickly do dots for color number 5. So I'm just gonna put a dot here, not right above it, not touching my teardrop shape, just a little higher right here. And then you kind of have to create a triangle-like structure on top of it. And then follow this to bring it downwards until you paint runouts. Like this. And now for the brush, I will be using, where's my brush here? Trying not to use a very long brush here. So I'm using the 00 brush. So these are the ones that I bought from Amazon. I've linked it in my previous classes as well. If somebody needs it, just message me. I'll send you the link from Amazon. It's a 00. If you already have the same one, that's great. I'm just gonna flip my piece just so I have this in front of me, and every time I do a swoosh, it's usually in front of me. So our goal is to, let me just dip it in water. So our goal is to start a brush stroke from number 3 box and then take it to join on the top, which I mean, we can also kind of join it here to make it a little smaller. So going in with my color number 1, starting from the box number 3. So put pressure here. to do a brush stroke. And then when you're at the end of a brush stroke, just release the brush slowly. Okay. Press, drag, start releasing and moving your hand upwards. Like this. And now I'm doing a brush stroke from the other side down using my color number 2. So the main concepts that we've discussed is in our brushstrokes class, going in very detail, hand position, how to use pressure, and how to use guide marks to guide you where to stop and where to start. So I ended it at guide mark number 5th from this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, this is the 6th one. So I'm going into the 7th. So I press. Keep going downward, and then start lifting my brush as I go meet the end. Same thing here. Oh, the camera was not. Was it catching? Yeah, that's good. Color number 2 here again. So press, drag, start lifting your brush. Okay. And then color number 3. Same thing, one box above. So I'm using my pinky finger, as you can see, placing it right here. And if you look at my hand, this part of my hand stays stuck to the surface. The only part that moves is like these fingers as they go downwards. But basically my palm just stays still on the piece. And as you can also see, I've covered up to number 5, and this is number 6, the end of our design here. So staying within number 5. No, it's not. It's the same brush for all the colors for one design. Yes, it's only when you have to kind of create variations in between of, like for example, something here, the design I make has to be smaller, then I would switch the brush. It really depends on the design that you're doing. If you're just doing one straight design like I'm doing here, I would not change my brush in the middle. But when I go to a different design, yeah, maybe. I don't wash the brush. I have the wet wipe that I use, and I just kind of keep wiping the excess paint. But then I think after, like, I don't know, a few times, you still start seeing the buildup on the brush, and that's when you kind of rinse it in the water. I have a cup of water as well on my side here. Okay, hope that's clear. And then My goal is to touch this after, so using a thicker brush stroke, I want to try to go all the way. Let's see if I can try to map it. Yeah. For that, I'm going to go back into let's do number 1 back here. So color number 1. So this time I loaded a lot of paint, and to answer your question again, we can always change the thickness of a brush stroke with how much pressure you apply and then how much paint you have. So for these brush strokes, because I had to stay within this tiny space, the paint I used was a little. But for the next brush strokes, I already see that I have to go and cover this whole area. So I'm going to press my brush a little harder to create that thickness, and also at the same time take more paint than I did previously. Okay. I can also do a gold dot here. And then just using the same concept, we're going to do it 5 more times, because we are going to do 6 segments. So I've got another one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's going to take this part all the way up till here, actually. Okay. And then going in with my purple in color number 6. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4 high. Like this. And then going back in with my color number 5. This time putting the dot a little higher. Until the paint runs out. Going in with the color number 1. And staying within that first box here. Color number 2. And then number 3. And then going back in number 1 again. This time taking a little extra paint. So you have to travel a long way. Just like this. And then putting a gold dot here. And then again, this is segment number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is my ending all the way here. And this is my center. 3 segments on this side, 3 on this side. Color number 6. 4 high, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5. Color number 1. And then moving it. So it depends if you can do brush strokes in a different way, like I do brush strokes going away from me. You can also do brush strokes in inverted way, but I feel comfortable when I'm doing it away from myself. What I mean by that is the thicker side of the brush stroke is always facing me. So because I'm going to do a brushstroke like this now, the thicker side of the brushstroke is facing me. So color number 2. Then number 3. And then number 5. Sorry, number 1. More paint this time. So I would press my brush until I fill the space in nicely, and then I'll start dragging, and I'll start lifting my brush up as I reach the end. And like I mentioned, there's more detail, more practice sheets, and more techniques in the brushstrokes class that we did. So a must watch before you attempt brushstrokes. And then again. One, two, three, 4, 5, and 6. So that is going to be the section ending here. And this is my center. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Going in number 6. 4 high. And then color number 5. A little higher. And I'm going to do it for the next one as well. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that. Then I have 2 left here. So this is going to be my center. So when you're like in a rhythm here, then it becomes faster for you. So 4 high. color number 1. Just trying to do an inverted brush stroke. This time I didn't change the direction of the piece. These are a little bit challenging sometimes, but with practice, all you're doing is, instead of doing this, now you're doing this. So I'm going to spread the paint just so I can touch my end line. Keep going. And now I'm going to start lifting my brush up to meet the end. Spread my paint. And then keep going until the end. Okay. And that's number 5. Color number 1. Anybody has any questions? And who's painting along? Is anyone painting along or just watching? Okay, the last one here. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, this is all recorded, so you'll have access to it after. You can just paint in your time. And if you still have any questions, just message me. Should be able to answer them quickly as you're painting in your own time. Oh, we are done with the flower part. And for the next part, I'm thinking we should do here. So I like to plan the designs here. So we do this, and then so at this time you could use a mirror here. Let me grab one. Like, and where I kept my mirrors, but you can always, I'm just gonna place. Okay, so I have these mirrors here. I don't know if I like them here. They're a little too big. Yeah. Yeah, you should be able to replay it right away. Sometimes it does process for about half hour or so, but sometimes it's just available quickly. Okay, just debating myself here. Okay. So let's do, where's my gold paint? I'm gonna fill my gold paint up. And using my pencil, so I have like this segment here and then this segment. So that's, I'm gonna say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 segments high. So on 4, 5, and 6, I'm just creating a leaf, not touching the lines here on the side, but just in the middle here. And I'm going to fill it up with gold paint. Okay. I usually just make these leaves and things like that without using the guide marks, because I believe these guide marks sometimes mess with my design and my measurements. So, but just for somebody who's new and does not know how to get there yet, you could always use these pencil marks. So we're gonna do a brush stroke going down here. Let's take again our color number 1. And okay. So I have about, let me give you a measurement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on this side. Wait, did I do it correct? Yep. 6. Yep. Perfect. So I have 6 on this side and 6 on this side. And I've done the first color with the color number 1, and brush strokes going down and touching the end here. And then we're going to take our color number 2 and starting from a lower box here. And color number 3 starting from this box. And then going to do the green ones on this one and this one. I'm trying to create a design that I did for one of my black mandalas. Let me Now going one box down. So we left one this box and went down. We're going to leave two boxes now, and we're going to go here. So now we're going to go back in with color number 5 and then match this height and bring it back here. Within this box. And then color number 6. We are then matching the height of our first brushstroke, which is this one. So starting from this box, so I'm always starting from the corner of this box. So if you see this square here, I'm starting from here, not in the center, not here. And going all the way down. Like so. And then again, painting, so it's this one. So from here to here, 3 boxes. So 1, 2, 3. So I like to go a little this way and a little this way. And then I take the back of my stylus to build the leaf. Color number 1. So I tried to stay within this box or this line. As you can see, maybe tilt the camera a little. Yeah. So try to stay in this lane. So each brushstroke, when it's measured and stays in its lane, that's what creates more symmetry. And going into number 2, color. And then starting the brushstrokes again from the corner of the box. Going down. We're still using the same brush, by the way. Not changed the brush yet. And then color number 3. One box down. Not from here, from here. Okay. Another thing I wanted to mention, so when you have to like pass through from this very narrow surface, you don't even have to go all the way. So this is where I start. All I do sometimes, I just stop here and I kind of merge in with my first brushstroke instead of going over your design that you created here. Uh, 1, 2, 3. These. Just giving you maybe a look from the top. That's how it's looking so far. So how's it looking, everyone? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So staying within the boxes and the lanes that we've created for each brushstroke, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 3 will then go down one more box. And then when you start from the corner, you have to also give it a curve as you're going down. So I'm starting from the corner of this box, and then I'm also making sure that I'm curving it as I'm going down. And if you do happen to run over the previous design, it's totally okay, because you can then, once it's dry, you can just go over it again and redo that brush stroke. That's easy, but try to avoid it as much as you can. But I know with hand movements, sometimes you just can't. I do that too all the time. So here, so try to go over your inner design if you have to, not touching the previous design. Because the inner one will understand. This here. So just like here, I don't have any space. I'm just gonna go within my inner yellow design. Like so. And then for my next green brush stroke, which is starting from here, I'm just gonna try to merge it with my first green brush stroke, and I can end it right here. I don't have to go all the way, because it's already looking nice at the end. I don't want to ruin it, so I just stop here and let it do its work. Okay. Okay, this. And I can stop maybe here. Just trying to build a leaf. Thank you. And having a lot of guide marks also help you to maintain the length and the thickness of the brush strokes evenly throughout your piece. Yeah, that's right. So the one that I'm making right now, so as I explained when I made the first one here, just follow the number of boxes and the number of segments that I'm using. That'll make it easier for you if you have a 36 segment mandala all over. Yes, it's in the post of this class. If you click on that link, it'll take you to her website, and there's also a discount code that you can find in my discount section of the Patreon. It says discount codes. Just for that ruler, you'll be able to get, I think, 25% off just by using my code. Yeah. Sometimes I try to like make sure that I'm on the same segment because you can kind of get lost when you're within so many brushstrokes. So just keep an eye on which segment are you working on. Otherwise, you can keep going with the flow and then end up making it shorter or even bigger. I've done that so many times. And just repeating again, I'd rather run over my internal here in this design than touching this one. You could have also used a mirror here, but I'm just avoiding using any mirrors today just in case. I want to make sure that we all have the same things, because you may not have the mirror that I have. That's this one and here. that's where I messed up a little bit. So I'm just gonna take my paint off. Yeah, it was supposed to be ending here, not here. That's why I try to bring this over to see where I ended. So I have 4 squares here, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm starting from one of the corners here. Make a U shape here, and then a U shape here. Then extend this to join this box, and then eventually like this. Okay. So I'm going to dip into my paint. Start by going over these marks, and then go back into my paint again. Every time I start from the top again. So again from here, again from here. So you have to keep bringing it down until you reach the end, and then flipping the stylus, getting more paint to fill up the gaps here, and then making it thinner and a sharper tail. Same thing again. And then go back in for more paint when you run out. Perfect. And then keep doing the same thing for all of these. So I'm going to do it without the pencil marks, but you can keep using pencil marks for more practice. So make a U shape. Try to bring it down here. And then finally attach it to your design at the bottom. I don't know if I mentioned this is gold paint that I'm using. Okay. Going in again. So I'm always starting from here and then going down, just so I have that finish that I want. And it also helps your hand move in the right direction when you do that. Then taking color number 2 and placing a tiny dot here. like this. And then for here, so we did, looking at my previous mandala that I did, so we did a brush stroke. So in this design, we did a brush stroke on the top, like here, and then a dot. This is Nouveau Drop silver Nouveau Drop, so 3D paint that we did here. I don't know if I want to repeat the same thing. I like to always keep bringing out new things. Like this also was, see this, the space in between these two was Nouveau Drops. And we did something different here, of course. Just trying to see what we can really put this piece through. Can we do dots here maybe? I don't know. Because I believe if I do another color here, the chances are it'll kind of ruin the look of this bloom that's happening here. So what I use here has to matter. So it has to be a metallic paint that it goes here. So if I use a green one of these two here, again, it's gonna break the pattern. And same thing with this, because they're all really close to this part here. So sometimes you have to kind of make shifts on what to do where. We can probably do a gold, something like this here. So just using these three boxes and not really touching this stroke or this stroke. If you look at it. So I have 1, 2, 3 boxes. So I'm kind of making an S on both sides. You just kind of have to make sure that you mirror the S. So if this is starting like this, that has to start like that. So just making an S there. Let's see if we can do that here. So starting thicker, and then you can, again, same technique. And then on the other side, meets it. So your ends are basically thicker than the brushstroke. Tiny dot here, tiny dot here. And this is where I can bring in my saffron yellow to work. And my color number 1 on this side. Because this way we're not really touching the design, trying to fill in the space that we've created. And then here, I believe you could still do a dot on this, but you can always just leave it like that. Sometimes black space also helps the mandala stand out. But let's see, if you had to, you would do, kind of hard to decide here. What we can do, once this is going to dry, I'm going to change this to saffron yellow. We can do a number 1 dot for number 1. And on top of this dot, I'm going to add some gold when it dries. So again, same thing. So 1, 2, 3. So from this side, I'm going to start like this. This side as well. Okay, just making sure I'm mirroring the pattern. And then using saffron yellow on both sides. And then number 1 color dot. E. Thank you very much. Yeah. After this, what I'm really going to do is just paint the last part. I'll show you one segment on how to do it, and then the rest, everyone can just paint. Just using saffron yellow. Thank you. So this is still recording, and it'll be available quickly. Okay, and lastly, we have, just want to count again quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so we have 72 here. So 72, let's see. We can use, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm just going to use 8 segments for my last design. So right on top of these that we created, I'm going right on top, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them left. And then like this, I have 8. So we're going to end our design here and here. And this is our center. And I'm going to go do a dot here. Let me see if I can do a bigger one. I guess this is fine. So right on this intersection of 2 and 3, I'm going in with number 6. And then number 5. Just putting dots around this circle. Same brush again. Okay. Going in with number 4 color. Starting my brush stroke from all the way here. And then meeting down right where the circle ends. So I still have the last row empty as we add more brush strokes. And then we have number 3. We're just going to go in this box. Again, starting from the corner. And then color number 2. And then color number 1. So what we're going to do with color number 1 is, instead of starting it from here, we're going to do a stroke starting here and then covering it down here. So let me quickly create another one here just so I can show you how this all interconnects. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's gonna go right here. This is number 5. And then going in number 4. So I'm dipping into gold. And then doing a tiny brush stroke here. Using the gold paint. Just a tiny one. You can also do it using the stick, the stylus, but here is the camera. And using saffron yellow dot and a smaller one. Like this. Color number 2, and I have 1, 2, 3 segments here. So on this one here, I'm going to put a dot. And I'm going to go in with my saffron yellow color. And bringing a stroke down from here to here. I mean, I could technically do the opposite. Yeah. Let's start from here, actually. So this part, starting from the corner, and then going in number 4, this time starting from the top. Number 5. And then finally, number 6. See, this press stroke is going to be smaller and you end it right here. Like this. And that's how you're going to build the rest of the mandala. Using the same pattern over and over. And once everyone's done, I'm excited to see everyone's pieces. I'm going to continue working on it offline and show you the final look in our group chat. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the session. And thank you for staying, whoever's still staying. But I will see you next week with another great session that we're going to be doing. Until then, have a great week and have a great weekend as well. Thank you.